Hey, welcome to Beyond Mount Rushmore, the history you never knew you needed. It was a dramatic pause. I'm Jeff Hickox. Across from me is a laughing Stan Nawalanik, our
Hi, everybody.
Self-proclaimed presidential historian.
That's right. How are you?
How are you? How the holidays going for you?
Hey, they're going great. What are we talking about today?
It's not my job.
Oh, let me see. I got to figure out what we're talking about.
What are we talking
I know
about?
what we're talking about.
What?
America loves a general.
Oh, yeah.
Why? well, that's why we're going to get...
That's what this story is about,
If
Stan.
you look at the almost 250-year history of America, there are, as I pointed out at the end of our last episode, there are probably three types of people throughout our history that have become president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
They are the self-made presidents. There was a time where people would love to hear that they were born in a log cabin.
Right.
Lincoln, the old rail splitter, anything, self-made presidents.
Yeah.
Then you had, early on, you had the founding fathers, who they all had to have their turn at it.
Almost all.
Yep. And the politician president. They just want the vote.
Yeah.
But for some reason, America loves a general.
At a certain time.
Well,
Right.
It starts, and yeah, we're going to show you the pattern, and there is a distinct pattern of when America, with nothing left to look forward to, says we need a general.
Right.
But that comes from George Washington. George Washington was our first president, and we loved him. Americans loved him. The colonies loved him, not because he was a politician.
He was an anti-politician, if anything.
He was a military man.
He was.
Who guided this young nation to independence with the help of the French.
He loved being in the military.
That is where we first love a general, because he didn't want to be president. You've got to be. You gained our independence. You're our leader.
Right.
I don't know. I think I want to. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. Washington was unanimously elected president of the United States on April 30th, 1789. That is unique among all of our presidents. Now, granted, the country was a lot smaller.
True.
It was 13 colonies. They handled elections a little differently then, but the electors said, it's you and you alone.
Yeah. Even though you're right, it was a smaller country, it still had a lot of different opinions.
It did? Oh, that's what took so long to ratify the Constitution.
Right.
Every state, and that's why we call it the United States. Everyone has their own government, and you got to agree, and we're united on one front to protect our sovereignty, our states. February 13th, 1793, the Electoral College again unanimously
Twice.
said, you're our president.
I did not know that.
General Washington. And then after that, all the other founding fathers had to get their turn. They weren't generals.
No, they weren't.
They were politicians.
Great orators.
Great orators. You got your Adams, Jefferson,
by far.
Madison, even, although at a much lesser level, James Monroe. He still is regarded as a pseudo founding father.
Yeah, he was.
And then you had a son of a founding father,
Right,
in John Quincy Adams. But that's where things start changing. Because America was growing. America was expanding. The way that electors were being chosen was changing. And Americans said, you guys aren't General Washington. You're not doing. You know who's doing it? You know who we love?
Yes.
Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson rose to fame as a U.S. Army general.
1812.
His victory at the Battle of New Orleans in the War of 1812, his battle actually 1815, where the war was essentially over, but he stopped the British.
Yes, he did.
Made him a national hero.
Yeah.
He later commanded United States forces in the First Seminole War against the Seminole Indians and other allied native groups. You want to go and peel the onion? He was an Indian killer.
Yeah.
But America loved him. He was a strong, powerful general, and he ran against John Quincy Adams, that stuffed shirt son of a founding father, and beat him in the general election. But old methods die hard.
Yes.
And they put Quincy Adams in there, and Jackson lost his first attempt.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Despite winning the general election.
So there were some back politician things happening.
And you know what? You can read all about it in our podcast that we did several months back about Andrew Jackson.
That's true.
America just thought he was... why? Because he was strong, he was a hero, and he was part of the regular people. He wasn't an aristocrat. He wasn't a politician. Because let me tell you something. Read your books on John Adams and John Quincy Adams. They were jackasses. 1832, Jackson wins complete election landslide.
Finally.
Quincy Adams is out of the way. He never forgave him. But now he's president, and America loves it. His VP was Martin Van Buren, our 8th president. So when Andrew Jackson finished his term as president, our 7th president, and retired, went back to the Hermitage in Nashville. America said, okay, Martin Van Buren will be our next president. Jackson gave him the back slap and said, you're our guy. Martin Van Buren, politician through and through, but Jackson needed that. And as a matter of fact, as they referred to President Andrew Jackson as Old Hickory, they referred to Martin Van Buren as Sly Fox. But then the Panic of 1837 hit the country. That was our first depression.
Our first depression, right.
There was no way in hell they were going to elect Martin Van Buren president again.
Right. Yeah.
It is said in the White House, he turned to an aide frustrated by what was going on in the country, and he couldn't control it.
Yeah.
He apparently turned to an aide and said, they will not reelect me. The people want a general.
Yeah, he said that. Boy, was he right.
Because he's following Andrew Jackson. He never reached the popularity of Andrew Jackson.
No, how could he, though?
And then America goes into a depression.
Right.
They're not going to reelect him to a second term, and he just lets out a big sigh. I'm not a general.
Yeah.
America wants a general. And he was proven right, because the next election, we elect a general.
Correctamundo.
America loves a general. And that's William Henry Harrison. He wasn't in office very long.
Nope.
But his election to the presidency, and why we are stressing through this entire podcast, America Loves a General. When he ran, we're in a depression. Van Buren knew there was not a chance.
Yeah.
William Henry Harrison won the election because there was a turnout of 80%.
Wow.
80% of the people wanted to make sure we got ourselves a general.
Yeah, and they got him.
And they did. Of course, he was a Whig. He was known for his Battle of Tippecanoe.
Correct.
Tecumseh's Curse. Check our past episodes. We're talking about people, and if you are more interested, you want to know more about them, they're there. But he didn't stay in office very long. He got sick. Now, the story goes with Harrison. He got sick at his inauguration.
He did, because he was long-winded.
And it was a cold, blustery day, and he was old for the time. He was old and worn out. He was 68 years old and worn out. In fact, during the campaign, the Democrats called him Granny Harrison. They cast him as a provincial, out-of-touch old man who would rather sit in his log cabin drinking hard cider than to attend to the administration of the United States of America. That's how they viewed him, and it was pretty much true.
Yeah.
After delivering a 2-hour inaugural address in the rain on March 4th without a hat or coat, Harrison continued to expose himself, pardon the pun, well after that. 3 weeks later, on Wednesday, March 24th, 1841, Harrison took his daily morning walk to local markets, and again, no coat, no hat. On Friday, March 26th, Harrison became ill with cold-like symptoms, and then they let the doctors do the rest.
Yes. Boy, those doctors.
His doctor was Dr. Thomas Miller. He when Harrison came in with a little bit of a cold, he decided to put a mustard plaster to his stomach, give him a mild laxative. Then Harrison developed severe pain on his side, and the doctor said, well, you got a pain on your side. We better bloodlet you.
I know. Jeez.
Miller also applied heat cupping
Yeah.
to blister his skin. They thought to enhance blood flow. And then to top it all off, the doctor gave him castor oil to induce vomiting and diagnosed him with pneumonia. Harrison then was administered laudanum, opium, and camphor, along with wine and brandy.
Wow.
He died.
Yeah. Because of medical care.
He died. But then we talked about John Tyler. Check our episodes. He was thrown in. He was the vice president. He was thrown in and became our first vice president to become president of the United States due to a death.
Correct. His accidency.
And he finished out Harrison's term later on, as you can read, became a member of the Confederacy and their Congress and all of that.
That's in the episode.
So Zachary Taylor comes into the picture.
Yes.
Zachary Taylor, out of nowhere, becomes president of the United States. General Zachary Taylor. We're done with Tyler, who was a real temperamental guy and liked to have kids. Zachary Taylor comes in. Yes, we've done an episode on him. A hero of the War of 1812, also a hero of the Black Hawk War, the Second Seminole War, the Mexican-American War. He was the epitome of a war hero.
He was.
With virtually no education, no political background.
Yeah.
Just we need a general.
We need you. Step up.
But as we have discussed, Jeffrey, he ate a bunch of fruit and vegetables during a July 4th celebration, washed it down with iced milk and contaminated well water.
He was not a very smart eater.
He died of food poisoning in 1850. And then who was his vice president? Another politician and go-nowhere president, Millard Fillmore.
Millard Fillmore.
That was his vice president. He finished out Taylor's term. And then just a series of mediocre politicians became president. This was a time, and I've stressed this in other podcasts, where Congress believed at the time presidents had too much power. This is supposed to be equal branches of government. We're going to go and take back. So you had a long range of insignificant presidents
with no power or little power.
Less power than had been, because Congress was taking some of it back.
Yeah.
Which they had a right to do.
Yes.
But we had mediocre presidents, and they drove us right into the Civil War.
We got
because
there
nobody
quick.
could make a decision. Nobody could govern. Nobody could lead.
Right.
You know, and we talk about the types of people that have become president. Abraham Lincoln was no general, but what he was, and we've had a few of these over the course of our 250 years.
Yeah.
War presidents.
Yes.
Presidents who may not be decorated military people, but were the person needed during wartime, whether it's Lincoln, FDR,
Yes.
Why do you think George W. Bush got reelected? Because we were messing around in the Gulf.
Yeah.
And it was the big thing when he was running against, I believe, Kerry.
He was.
And they said, we will not replace a wartime president.
Yeah.
You got to keep him. Lincoln was perfect for the time.
Mm-hmm. He knew how to put on a war. He did a great job at it.
He did a great job because he had great people around him.
He did, a great general.
Which we're going to be getting to here because it's interesting how that happens and how America wants a general. So Lincoln, just a week or so into his second term, gets assassinated by John Wilkes Booth. We got details on that in another podcast.
We do.
But his vice president, and this is one of the few times in history, I think it only happened once before earlier, certainly not in modern time. Republican President Lincoln ran with Democrat Andrew Johnson.
It's true.
And Johnson was a Southern Democrat and was impeached and was not very liked, but he was just merely finishing out Lincoln's term. He had practically a full 4 years.
Yeah, he did.
Because Lincoln died so early into his second term.
It was unfortunate because it was a bad time to have him to be president.
And we were going through Reconstruction.
Right.
And America screamed, "We want a general." And there was one waiting right there.
Yeah.
Just had to let Andrew Johnson get done with it. And then comes in Ulysses Grant.
Ta-da.
And as corrupt as his administration was, and there wasn't an administration that was more corrupt than
he was
Grant's.
A great general. He was not a good person of character. He could not pick good people of character.
Right.
Is that the right way to say it?
If he felt he owed you a favor or wanted to do something nice for you, you were in his administration, and it tore it up because he was honest as the day is long.
Yeah.
And really tried to strengthen the South after Andrew Johnson just basically tore up Reconstruction.
Yeah.
And let the Democrats start running amok down there again, and so much death. It was Grant who, to the best of his ability, tried to right things. Mm-hmm. But he was Ulysses Grant, and I say this so far about every general that we've spoken about.
Yeah.
America loved him.
Yep.
And he loved the country. He finished his 2 terms as president. And even after he was done, he was a prominent candidate again in 1880.
He sure was.
In 1884, Grant himself sought the nomination again. Mm-hmm. And he also was considered in 1888.
He was.
But he wasn't well.
No.
And he chose not to actively campaign, but they wanted him.
They did.
Please. And then you wound up getting Garfield as president. But Garfield was unknown. Grant loved this country. The country loved Grant. And as we've discussed in previous podcasts, he got sick, died, painful death. Now, I bring this up. Grant has moved on. Congress wants their power, and so they had their control. It changed, and this person wasn't a general, but he was a war hero, and America needed him. McKinley gets assassinated. His running mate was Teddy Roosevelt.
Yes, he was.
He became our 26th president following McKinley's death. He was a war hero, and they loved it. A reputation he earned during the Spanish-American War. His fame as a military leader was instrumental in launching his political career, ultimately leading him to the presidency. His defining moment came during the Battle of San Juan Hill.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
July 1st, 1898 in Cuba. He was loved. He got caught, though, in a political trap.
Yeah.
When he vowed that he would not run for re-election. He finished McKinley's term. He won his own term, 4-year term.
Correct.
And said he was eligible to, I will not run for re-election. William Howard Taft is going to be my guy.
That was a mistake.
And he knew it as soon as he said it.
Yep.
Taft went his own way. They battled. And that's when Teddy said, you're going to get the nomination to be the Republican president. I'm going to start my own party, the Bull Moose Party.
Yeah.
But what happened was he split, has happened in recent history.
Yes.
Split the Republican ticket, and Democrat Woodrow Wilson came in and ruined America.
He really did. Racist bastard.
Yeah, he was. He was not a good man.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
And was asleep at the wheel, daydreaming about his second wife, who ran the country after his stroke. You can find out about that, too. We did one on that, too.
We have an episode on that as well.
For the next 50 years,
Yes.
politicians ran this country. They were in the Oval Office, varying degrees of success, but they were politicians. But then came World War II. War presidents. Franklin Roosevelt, he was a politician through and through, but he was a great wartime president.
Right.
We needed him. So that was fine. He dies in office.
Yes.
And Harry Truman takes over as a wartime president.
Yes.
And was good at it, too.
He was, and he was, as the episode that we've done on him as well, he didn't know a lot. They kept him in the dark.
Yep. And
he
still
did a great job.
Just his instincts alone.
Yeah.
And he never regretted dropping the bombs. It ended World War II.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
What does America want? We're out of World War II. We and the Allies have liberated the world.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we want? We need a general running this thing now.
Right.
And what better general than to pick a 5-star general, the one that commanded the whole thing?
Right.
Dwight D. Eisenhower. He was the supreme Allied commander in Europe.
Of all forces.
He called the shots. Mm-hmm. One of our first 5-star generals. And then you got Patton became one posthumously, I believe. Then Omar Bradley, Marshall, yep. I believe he became he was a 5-star general.
There wasn't that many.
No, there's a fistful of 5-star generals. Yeah. But America wanted a general. They wanted Ike. We like Ike.
Right.
Here's Eisenhower accepting the nomination.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, you have summoned me on behalf of millions of your fellow Americans to lead a great crusade for freedom in America and freedom in the world. I know something of the solemn responsibility of leading a crusade. I have led one. I accept your summons. I will lead this crusade.
Oh, and he got 2 terms out of it.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before, too. I was at a little White House in Key West when the tour guide was talking about Harry Truman. That was his place down there.
Right.
When he was finishing up his run as president,
mm-hmm.
and the rumor was around that Ike wanted to be president.
Yeah.
Both parties wooed him, the Democrats and the Republicans. Who was Ike going to choose? And Truman so desperately wanted Eisenhower and be a Democrat.
Yeah.
Ike chose Republican.
Oh, how about that?
2 full terms, despite having Richard Nixon as his vice president. Also 2 heart attacks. Eisenhower retired, passed away in 1969.
I remember that.
The president that saw over Dwight Eisenhower's funeral, Richard Nixon.
Right.
He was president. Dwight Eisenhower was our last hero general president.
He was. Our last general, right?
Yeah, he was our last general president.
Yeah.
Not that people didn't want it or seek it, but, and we were talking about this beforehand, how it changed after Dwight Eisenhower.
Yeah.
And how it really changed starting with Ronald Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
He was a movie star. Yeah, he was governor of California, but he was governor of California because he was head of the Screen Actors Guild and was a movie star.
Yep.
We loved that. And he is beloved to this day, Ronald Reagan is.
Yeah.
How many people said, Boy, we wish we could have Arnold Schwarzenegger. If he was just born in this country, he's governor of California too. Boy, he would make a great president. Married into the Kennedys.
We put the celebrities in place of the generals, it seems like lately.
Look at Donald Trump, TV star.
Right, yeah.
That's kind of been even today. Oh, The Rock is going to run for president.
Yeah.
Celebrities.
Correct.
I don't know. But there have been, in the history of this country recently, where generals, they're asked to become president. In 1992, how many remember Norman Schwarzkopf?
Yeah, he lived in Tampa.
He was considered as a vice presidential candidate by Bill Clinton and Ross Perot. He said he didn't want it.
I did not know that.
As late as 1996, General Colin Powell seriously considered running for president.
That's the one that came to my mind immediately.
Here is General Powell saying, I'm not going to run for president.
And to offer myself as a candidate for president requires a commitment and a passion to run the race and to succeed in the quest. The kind of passion and the kind of commitment that I felt every day of my 35 years as a soldier. A passion and commitment that, despite my every effort, I do not yet have for political life. Because such a life requires a calling that I do not yet hear. And for me to pretend otherwise would not be honest to myself, it would not be honest to the American people, and I would break that bond of trust. And therefore, I cannot go forward. I will not be a candidate for president or for any other elective office in 1996.
Do you know that William Tecumseh Sherman was, in 1884, asked to run for president?
General Sherman was?
Yeah, he had the famous line, if nominated, I will not run. If elected, I will not serve.
Really?
Yep, he came up, he's the one that did that line.
Wow.
Yep.
Huh.
So there's another general that was asked, America wanted him.
Yeah.
Said, no way. We've mentioned this. I am not the biggest fan of General Douglas MacArthur. His I shall return to the Philippines. Yeah. He did, but when things got hot in the Philippines, he left his men there and he split. And so many Americans died torturous deaths in the Philippines to liberate that island.
Yeah.
And then he comes back in his pant-fat trousers and ankle-deep water and says, I've returned. Patton wouldn't have done that.
No. We both know that.
Right. But there's a famous speech from MacArthur.
Really?
Douglas MacArthur, even before the war ended, World War II, wanted to become president. He wanted to become president. He sought the nomination, the Republican nomination for president in 1944, 1948, and thought again in 1952 that maybe I want to run. Well, he finally said, it's time for me to retire.
The world has turned over many times since I took the oath on the plain at West Point, and the hopes and dreams have long since vanished. But I still remember the refrain of one of the most popular barrack ballads of that day, which proclaimed most proudly that old soldiers never die. They just fade away. And like the old soldier of that ballad, I now close my military career and just fade away.
He wound up passing away in 1964. There were, and I think I said in the beginning of this, we mentioned hero generals.
Yes.
Technically, we've had 12 presidents that at some point in time held the rank of general.
Oh.
During the Civil War, ranks were given to the Union commanders and the Confederate commanders only for the time of that war. And then after the war was over with, they went back to their other rank.
Oh, I see.
You know who wanted to be president of the United States?
Who?
General Custer.
Really?
Let me very quickly, because we're running short on time. Custer was actively developing political aspirations. Many historians believe he was aiming for a presidential nomination in 1876 and may have even been trying to secure a victory at Little Bighorn to put him with all the other ones, the Battle of Tippecanoe, all of the other big war battles, so he could run for president.
That didn't work out so well for him.
No, he died. A lot of arrows.
Yeah.
American presidents who have had the rank of general at some point in time during their life also included Franklin Pierce was a general.
Okay.
Andrew Johnson was a general.
Yes, I knew that one.
Rutherford B. Hayes was a general. James A. Garfield was a general.
Yes.
Chester A. Arthur was a general.
I did not know that.
And Benjamin Harrison. They were either temporary, honorary, or had played no role in their political aspirations.
Gotcha. That's a great story. I like that. That's a good one. Couple of things. I'm not going to go into tidbits about them because you can just go back to our episodes and see and hear all of them, actually.
I was so surprised doing this that we have episodes on so many in much more detail.
Yeah. Speaking of, though, I said see instead of hear. I want everybody to go and listen to our first episode, which was on President Garfield. Then I want you to go to Netflix, and there is a TV show. It's a 4-episode miniseries called Death by Lightning about him. And it's amazing how your story fits this movie
You can
perfectly.
picture it, can't you?
It's crazy. Also, I wanted to say hello to all of our listeners out there, especially in the country of Luxembourg, where we are highly rated.
You guys, thanks for listening to us out there in Luxembourg.
We really appreciate that. And then one last thing. We started this with General Washington.
Yeah.
And you and I happened to enjoy a liqueur that General Washington was famous for.
Yeah. Oh, this is good. He made it at Mount Vernon.
He did. It's called Cherry Bounce. And I'm going to put that recipe on our Facebook page so that everybody can give it a shot.
It's good.
Yes, it is.
If you're a drinker, now I'm not going to say, hey, you 15-year-olds.
No.
If you're of drinking,
21 and up, please.
If you're of drinking age.
I don't know what the drinking age is in Luxembourg, though.
I think 12.
Just kidding, Luxembourg.
But yeah, we'll put the recipe up there for that. And because George Washington did a whole lot of other things than being a general. The only problem is they kept calling him back to be a general.
Yeah.
Even after he left the White House.
We should do an episode about that.
Yeah, they come back.
Yeah. When's our next episode, Stan?
2 weeks.
Okay.
And you know what? We're going to mention George Washington and coming back.
Okay.
There are a good fistful of presidents that after they left the White House chose to stay in public life. They held other positions in government.
Some very interesting.
Some very interesting, some extremely prominent.
2 weeks, my friends. This is Beyond Mount Rushmore, the history you never knew you needed. I'm Jeff Hickox. Across from me,
I'm Stan Nawalanik.
there you go, our self-proclaimed presidential historian.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.